One. All right, guys, we're live. Let me post the link. GM guys,
GM guys.
feel free to share the link and invite anyone you want to. I'm just trying to post the link on the channel. So today's session will not be so long, unless we have lots of questions. All right, I've posted the link. All right, guys, GM. Hope everyone is having an amazing morning. So we'll jump straight to the charts. We're seeing some greens based on altcoins. Um, for me, I would call that some scam pumps. That's what I would call it. Space. What do you think? What do you think from your own points?
I don't think any pump now is sustainable. That's just my comment.
Yeah, but actually, we're seeing lots of green though. Personally, I feel it's scam pump, but we're seeing lots of green in the market this morning. Do you think altcoins are about to reprice? Because we
They are
haven't
not
really seen a
repricing
reprice in
anything.
altcoin.
I don't think so. Today
Do
is
you
what? Today
owe?
is Wednesday. Sorry, today is
Today's
Thursday.
Thursday.
Tomorrow is Friday.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
repricing. Not this week. You get. I don't think so. I don't think so. We can always, if you look generally at most of this pump, you know, it's like maybe maximum 10% at best, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing 2%, 3%. That's something with this whole green thing, Once you just see green, you get excited. But by the time you just start checking them individually, 2% pump, 4%, it's not it's not repricing enough for something that has dumped 30 something percent, 40 something percent. Right. So
Yeah,
it's not even enough to get people excited or for people to be excited about, right? So assuming we're seeing across board something above 15 to 30% of almost
yeah.
all tokens, then we should get excited, right? Well, not 4%, 3%, 2% pump. You get that well almost going towards the weekend. So it's not, I don't think so.
Well, for some persons, it feels a bit relieving to see this. A few persons, they might feel a bit relieved and they might start jumping back into the market. But yeah, I agree with you. The only different thing to notice here is BTC didn't pump. So BTC is still around 60 something K, 66, 67. Whereas we saw most altcoins start to show some signs of recovery. Very minor, although there were some that did a bit more percentage. Like me did about 40%. Dimension did almost 30%, and a few others too that did above 10%. I think Move also did almost 20% or 30%. Yeah, so it feels a bit relieving to see that these altcoins moved without BTC moving. For me, that's the only catch. Without BTC moving. So it will be quite exciting if we can see altcoins reprice. If the market wants to even give us like a form of surprise, I think what we'll be expecting to see is maybe alt season, even if it's just a brief 2 weeks or 1 month alt season. It will be really, really interesting to see altcoins move against the price of BTC. Because I mean, BTC has run for almost 2 years plus, running from below 20K to over 120K. That's over 500% that BTC did from 2023 till 2025. That's in a space of 2 years and some months. BTC ran from below 20K. That's January, February, March. No, it's January, February 2023. It was below 20K. And October 2025, we were above 120K. So that's clean 500% run from BTC. Whereas if you look at most alts still maintained the price they were playing within or between in 2023 and even 2024. They didn't really do much. So it won't be bad if we see some of those altcoins rally. Like, I won't be surprised, sincerely. It will be very, very relieving, and it will be something that would bring lots of traction and activities back into the market, to bring lots of hype too into the market. Even if we see something like that, I won't expect it to last for up to 2 months. Personally, I would expect it to last for maybe at most 5 weeks, at most. Or let's just see how it goes. Yeah, so let's look at BTC chart. Like I said, the most interesting thing about this whole move we're seeing from alt today is the fact that BTC did not pump. So if you can see my screen looking at BTC charts, if you see this section of my screen, you will notice as I'm scrolling down, you can see random altcoins. They are all green. You can see when lots of them, they did some 5%, some 3%, me did 24, Move did about 7. Like, you can just see random altcoins that move. So one major thing you see here is most altcoins pumped. I think Dimension has started dumping back. If I should click on Dimension, you see that it pumped to almost, I think, 0.06, something like that. Like, it pumped really, really well. So the most exciting thing the market can just do now is to give us an alt season. I'm not expecting it to, but it'll be interesting if that happens. Now let's look at BTC market analysis. So yesterday, I showed you guys that while we were on the live, that BTC just broke below the zone it was ranging. BTC had been ranging here for almost a week between this level and this level, and it went below. So I said, ideally, it's to hunt for shorts, hunts for shorts. Now, I drew this while we were on the live, where I said there are some persons that what's expected naturally is for BTC to retrace back to like this level. That's what I was saying yesterday. To retrace back to this level, then you find like a good entry around here to short. That's what I was saying as at yesterday. But there are people that they might not want to wait, or they might feel like they would miss the pump. So those persons might just want to catch. They go to lower time frame, because when I went to lower time frame, 15 minutes. They go to lower time frame where they can see the dump, how BTC is dumping since that's broken below that point. They can see it and they just catch it. They just pick it up from here and they short with an SL below this or above this minor resistance level on the lower time frame. They have their SL there. Now that's what I do. So if you notice, personally I didn't take this trade, but if anyone here did, if you notice, you find out that it started moving towards the intended direction, and afterwards it reversed. Now that's where the risk management comes in, where once it starts moving, you move your SL to break even. Remember, this trade was taken based on the 15 minutes time frame, which is that stuff I said that most times, especially since you took the trade based on BTCs on a free fall, you have to monitor it. Like, you have to be there monitoring the trade. It's not something you analyzed based on 2 hours and took it based on 2 hours. No, this one you picked your entry based on trying to catch that free fall. So you have to observe it to check if it's going to reverse or if it's not going to play out. Yet, since there's also an option of it coming up to like fill a gap that was up here. You understand? So I hope most persons are learning and picking a thing or two from all of this stuff. So just as anticipated, BTC retraced briefly. It retraced, and this sharp pump you see here was based on news. Yesterday was NFP news, and BTC once that news, once it was time for that news, the market reacted. Even gold had like a huge spike too. And it was downside because gold was pumping, but immediately it was time for that news, gold dumped aggressively. So there was a ripple effect across markets. For BTC, it was a sharp move towards the upside, followed by sharp dump towards the expected direction. So this is more of like liquidation or stop loss hunt for most persons that were trying to like chase this dump to catch it based on free fall, because they are traders and that's what they do and they make crazy money from it. Yeah, they were trying to chase this and like milk it to make as much profit as possible. So this news actually took them out, and after which the market continued. Now, for people that are usually patient and they don't like chasing the market, they wait for the strategy to like play out. For most of those persons, they would have still cut this trade because BTC ran back to the previous high. You get, it's run back to that previous high that it had created that brought about this whole dump. It ran back there and just tapped on it, and in the process filled up all of the fair value gap we had here. That's literally what happened, after which it returned immediately. This is a trade I took on lower time frame. This trade here on like 5 minutes, 15 minutes time frame. This particular trade. Now, what is BTC doing? It's still back below the zone that it went below around this time yesterday. So clearly you can see that nothing has changed. BTC is still facing down. It hasn't changed direction towards the upside. No. If at all, what this means is sign of rejection, huge sell, huge sell. That's what it means. It's showing that there are lots of people selling here. So if at all, what this whole thing is trying to tell us is the direction that BTC is headed is still the downside. Nothing has changed to give us a different bias that we're going to go up. Nothing, basically. Instead, it has filled up all of the gaps here and taken out most of the orders here. So it's ready to start going down. So personally, I'm still watching. If I'm going to trade it, it will maybe just to go to lower time frames to scalp maybe some quick buys and sells. Yet maybe that is what I'll do if I'm going to like jump in on any trade. But so far so good. All directions, all signs are still pointing that it is gradually going down. Hopefully we don't see that breakdown today. Hopefully. Why I'm saying that, the only reason why I'm saying that is I would love to see how sustainable this rally from altcoins would be. I would really, really love to see how sustainable this rally is going to be. Took a long on Dash. Took a long on Dash yesterday, so just in case you might be interested in it. This is a long on Dash, quite conservative. SL is at 30.4. Full TP is at 38.6. So if you notice, based on this morning rally, Dash did not also run with most of these coins. It was yesterday instead, yesterday night, that Dash did this move. And right now it's just trying to like consolidate a little before it takes off again. For other odds, I'm not really paying much attention. I'm just keeping it very, very straightforward and very, very simple. I'm not trying to overstretch myself this period. Yeah, so personally, are there any trades you're looking at, any trade ideas that you're looking at currently?
No, no, not at all. Basically, I'm
Okay,
not,
so
I'm not, I'm not engaging with much currently. Probably till the end of this February.
I'll be looking at Ethereum later today, and if maybe there's a reasonable setup that pops up, I'll be able to share it with the community if there's a reasonable setup. So it's time for questions. But it's time for questions. Let's just take some questions before we round up. We'll also look at gold before rounding up. So somebody asked a question. He said, "My Pippin token I bought with $33 is giving me $535 despite market sentiment." That's really nice. Pippin has been highly volatile. It's really, really good. My advice: take out minimum $400. You can leave the rest. That's my advice, because $400 is at least 7 something percent. So take it out. You can leave the remaining hundred and something dollars there. That is my advice. If in a crazy market like this, you're up almost 15x, because what you're up is almost 15x. You're up almost 15x. Even if it was a bull market, it would seem very, very greedy to not pull out your capital and at least 60% profit. If you believe it's going to run higher, then whatever you leave there, the 20, 30% you leave would obviously still run up. But when you don't take out 60, 70%, you're still leaving everything there, you risk losing more. In fact, at that point, your risk is now much higher. Unless maybe you're someone that you don't need that $500, yet you don't need it. But either which way, any way you look at it, the wise thing to do, the right thing to do, is to take out at least 60%. Because if you look at how much you invested, you're already up over 10x. So that's like the wise thing to do. You take it out. It gives you more leverage in the market. There will always be opportunities in the market. Even if this one proceeds to do another 5x from here or 10x from here, it will be better you getting out with some profit than if it goes back to your entry. The pain would actually be more. And if it proceeds to do another 5, 6x and you miss out, there would always be another opportunity in the market. So you need to be able to prioritize consistently making profits than just one big win. And that is it. So someone is asking, what do you say about Aztec? Please, which one is Aztec? I don't know. Which one is Aztec? Then for people that are looking for some other coins to like that maybe you can swing, you can look at when. Look at when. When has been doing very well. It's been very, very volatile. You can actually take a look at when. I'm trying to see if I can see it here, but you can take a look at when. When has been doing quite well in terms of volatility. Some days it does 50%, some days it does 70%. Yet, so this is when here. This is when. So if you notice yesterday or this early this morning, there was a huge spike. You can see it from 6 all the way to 8. That's almost 30%. Yet then last week or early this week, Sunday, we had something similar. And Saturday, we had something similar. And also Saturday early morning, we had something similar. Then last week, last week, Friday, we had something similar. That one did 100% still on when. So I don't know why, but I've noticed that when has just been huge spike, huge spike, huge spike. The spikes last for sometimes 2 hours. Yet so they always give you good time to like sell off and all. Yet so you can pay attention to when, if you're looking for maybe some tokens that you can use to make some scalping, 20%, 30%, and all of that. And pay attention to when. I'm the person that asks about Aztec. I don't know the token you're talking of though. I don't know. So you can throw more light, that would be good. I'm just hearing of it for the first time. So let's look at gold. Gold has just been at the particular spot for the longest period of time actually. Hasn't really done much. This trade is this trade is from yesterday. This gold trade. It's actually from yesterday. Okay, so gold hasn't really done much. It's still facing a resistance around this zone. Remember this purple line. We've been unable to go above that purple line for the longest period of time. We've been unable to. And with the way it's looking like we're actually going to dump with the way it's looking because price is gradually getting exhausted at that point. But yeah, we're still watching. Still watching. I still have my eyes on it. We broke out of this trend yesterday, this channel rather, where we broke out of that channel yesterday and we're forming another channel. But right now nothing is certain yet for gold. Nothing is certain. If you switch to the daily chart, switch to daily, You can see where it's facing challenge. It's here where you have the purple line. So most times, if you're someone that you love to trade gold based on one direction, either bullish or bearish, is to wait till you get like very clear sign. So if you also notice something, you find out that of late the volatility for gold has reduced. It's not how it was when we started the year, and it's not how it was when we ended the year, the month of December. Right now, we're seeing very, very little volatility. Once it's done with this whole phase, which for gold sometimes that might last 3 weeks, most times might just last maybe 3 weeks. If you zoom backwards and check the chart, most times highest it might just be 3 weeks. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes maybe 5 days or 1 week or thereabout. Once we're done with that phase, we should now start seeing it printing candles to either the upside or basically the downside. But like I always say, the pro trend for gold is usually the upside. Now, if you don't have the time and the patience to wait, you can always go to the lower time frame to play around. Always, you can always go to lower time frame to play around to see what is really, really happening. Maybe if you're eager to take a trade, there are people that they always just want to trade. They like to trade. They don't need to wait for any setup or opportunities. They just want to take something. It can be one trade a day. If that's what you want to do, you can always go to the lower time frame and search for an opportunity. Right now, there's none that I'm seeing. I'm not seeing any opportunity right now. All right, guys. So the guy that asked the question, he hasn't dropped something else. Yeah. So Spesna, any contribution, anything you want to say before we round up?
Well, don't trust any pump basically that you see that comes up. It's not something that you already get excited that you start trading money, right? So we are currently in the second week of February. For me, I'm still looking out for the market to see which proper direction the market heads before I start maybe entering spot positions. But if we're trading futures, just use tight stop losses and don't really FOMO that much, right? There's also something that some people tend to do because we are a little bit bearish. They want to short everything. They want to, maybe they've heard us talk about Bitcoin might be going towards 40K or 50K thereabout. And they are loading up shorts because they've done the math. If they short from here and it reaches, let's say, 55K or 50K, they'll make a lot of money. So they are loading shorts. But you doing that might be you setting yourself for a lot of loss. Okay. So you have to enter this trade with a good amount of conviction and then also have stop losses, like really tight stop losses to mitigate stops. But aside that, I'm still watching out for trends. I'm still watching out for the giving the markets time to properly settle, so that one doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So yeah, that's it from me.
And ensure to manage your risk. Someone just asked a question. Let's take this before we call it a day. It was just listed on Binance on some exchanges today, including Binance. Oh, okay, I've not checked it. I actually haven't checked it. Maybe I'll look at it, then we'll talk about it tomorrow. Or I haven't checked it basically. All right, guys. So once again, thanks for joining us today. And no trades were shared today, by the way. No trades were shared. Our river trade, if you did what was told, then you should be out of the river trade already. If you did what was told, you protected profits at around 20, then you're obviously supposed to be out of this trade by now. You should be out of this trade with a minimum of 1 to 3, worst case 1 to 2.5. Get, but if you didn't, then you'll still be in the trade. But personally, I'm out of the trade. Like I'm totally out of the trade. All positions closed. All right, guys. So see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, there will be some positions for us to take, some good setups for us to take tomorrow. Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Bye.